Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. And welcome back everybody to a bit more of the Final Fantasy V Soul Character Single Class Challenge. I say that differently every time I feel. Last time where we left off, we just arrived after completing the Lonka Ruins, defeating Archeo Avis with a little bit of demolishing some equipment that we had, aka rod breaking. But now we will continue further progressing. We still have 3 mini-bosses left in the first world ahead of us. And 2 of those 3 mini-bosses will be really simple, I dare to say. Maybe not first try, but they should be overall simple. But the subsequent mini-boss number 3, Pureblos, is potentially going to be a minor problem, let's put it that way. The minor problem that can most likely just straight up be solved by me breaking some rods, if need be. Although I would prefer to not do that. Speaking of timer... Yep, I forget the timer again. Yes, thank you for the heads up. So welcome everybody, I hope you're doing well. Greetings to you. Kaneki, Blood, Stinger, Latlin, Atheist, Zuka Blue, Blood, Cross Product, Anna Maniac, Tuali. And I think there were some others earlier before I restarted. Either way, welcome guys, I hope you're doing well. And Tuali, thank you. Thank you so much for 28 months of support. Welcome back to you. Well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much, Tali. That's really kind of you. So yeah, welcome guys. I hope you're having a pleasant day so far. What is the gist of this class? Basically, the gist of the Necromancer is that you are undead, which means instead of healing yourself with healing spells and potions for that matter in combat, you will take damage from them. So, right now we actually don't have any real way of healing at all. So, my options are very limited on how I can potentially progress through the game in terms of just not being able to survive for too long in combat. Now, this is not too terrible thanks to the really high strength or high health growth of the Necromancer. Plus, we do have an ability called Oath. The Oath ability is essentially just a straight up dice roll, where 3 out of 8 times we have a skeleton that deals lightning damage for about 200-ish, which can be powered up by using a Thunder Rod a little bit. A Rajiforms, which hits all enemies for about, I would say, 250 to 300 damage. A Flaremancer, which deals 1300 damage, 2 out of 8 odds by the way, those are the odds here. And a Zombie Dragon, which deals anywhere from 50 to 500 damage. Completely random, but it can poison, and it's poison element. So, it's kind of tricky to continue much further without breaking rods, let's put it that way. And right now we are going to be facing the mini-bosses of the meteors here. So, Magos, back row, that's good. So, this mini-boss here is Titan. Titan is traditionally not that big of a deal for most solo classes, because Titan's main strength is to use Quake as he dies. Quake deals about 500 damage to your entire party, like each individual party member takes 500 damage. We have enough HP to survive that. The problem will be to try and take out Titan before he gets to deal enough damage to the Necromancer here. Well, because once again, we don't actually have any way of healing up at all. So Titan has only 2000 HP, so we should be able to get through that reasonably quickly with just the correct amount of oaths. Such as the Flaremancer, this is literally the best case scenario here. So Titan has about 500 HP left at this point, a little bit more than that. And he could use Quake as his normal attack ability, but mostly he just decides to do regular attacks. So at most it is 2 more oaths and we should be done, so no matter what we should be able to defeat Titan without any trouble really. It's, yeah, it is sort of like having a bone armor, except you don't have the benefits of... There's a lot of status effect protection on the bone armor, on top of there being also the benefits of getting healed through poison. But you also don't take double damage from fire, so I guess that's a minor plus, so to speak. Yeah, hey Newsteer, welcome. Hope you're doing well as well. Earthshaker, this was the death counter, meaning we should be fine here. Alrighty. We get some high potions, and because we can't heal in combat, high potions are literally just there for us to heal outside of combat. For that matter, elixirs mostly as well. The thing about elixirs is we technically can use an elixir. In combat, it should refill our MP, even though it puts our HP to critical. But in theory, I could refill my MP by using an elixir in combat, if necessary. Right now we don't actually have any abilities at all that use any form of MP, since the main power of the Necromancer is normally the Dark Arts ability. But the thing is, we don't have the Dark Arts abilities unlocked right now at all, because in order to do that you need to defeat certain enemies. Necromancer is a very much endgame class, and it just so happens that the very first set of enemies that appear that give us Dark Arts are only starting in World 2. We are reasonably close, just those 2 more mini-bosses, plus one somewhat major boss, are in the way, and then we finally get access to our first set of Dark Arts. So, I actually forgot to equip the Flame Ring. I meant to equip the Flame Ring against Manticore, because Manticore likes to use abilities that deal ice damage, and the Flame Ring just kind of negates ice damage entirely. We just throw Aqua Breath back and forth, it looks like. So Manticore has about, I think, 2600-ish HP, something along those lines. With just a little bit of luck, we should be able to defeat him. Although it might take a few tries. Frost, this is Ice ability. It will also deal HP leaking damage, which is not so pleasant. Not much we can do about that though. Pretty good roll for a Skull Dragon, or Zombie Dragon, I guess. The Frost, or the upfront damage from Frost, is the only thing the... Oh, he's poisoned. That's nice. It's the only thing that the Flame Ring would prevent here, actually. So right now it would have prevented about 500-ish damage. The HP leak status, however, would still be taking place. Manticore can be poisoned, huh? That's kinda neat. We need a Flaremancer here in order to finish this off rather soon, otherwise we will be, well, toast. Or Popsicle, I guess, is more appropriate. Yes, I basically use cheat codes in order to unlock all the character classes, more or less right from the start. So otherwise we would be missing out on a lot of character classes. To my knowledge there is no... Oh, nice. I think this might do the trick. To my knowledge there is no way to unlock the classes from the get-go outside of cheat codes. Alrighty. That's not a Manticore, it's a Chimera. Silly game. It's actually... well... it's close enough. It does have a lion head and a scorpion tail, okay. But yeah, they were not the most accurate with those, but that's okay. So, alrighty, we have defeated 2 out of the 3. Let me actually use... do you have a cottage? There we go. Cottage to heal up my HP to full without having to use a ton of potions. And now... now we will see whether we get lucky enough to defeat the Pureblos. I predict a lot of deaths against the Pureblos if I want to defeat them straight up. Okay. To give you a frame of reference against the Pureblos, we want to try and not break rods, because breaking rods is not necessarily an inherent ability of the Necromancer. He just can wield a staff, and by virtue of being able to wield a staff, we can break rods. Oh, I forgot to kill off my allies. Sorry, I'll do that right quick. I was saying something and I forget. Oh no. Sorry. Either way, we will see whether we can get through this game without... Oh yeah, exactly, breaking rods. So the problem is, if I try to break rods... I did not mean to attack myself. Oops. The problem is, if I try to break rods, it's not necessarily an inherent ability of the Necromancer, although it is kind of class specific, since not all classes... Actually, a lot of classes cannot equip rods at all, so they cannot break rods. But I like to highlight the strength, and for that matter, weaknesses of each individual class a little bit here, by trying to use their abilities rather than trying to use, well, incredibly powerful items that are easy to kill enemies. So here, those are Purebolos. 6 of them. They have a few things going for them. They all each have 1500 HP, each one of them. And the first 2 turns, they do nothing. When you see the ATBs at the bottom right stop a little bit, that is basically when they take their first nothing turn. On the 3rd turn, they have a 2 in 3 chance to physically attack. And a 1 in 3 chance to explode. Explode deals damage equivalent to how much HP they have left. Now, that's kind of a problem, because if just 2 of them explode, we are instantly dead, and even if just 1 explodes, like with self-destruct, we will not exactly be healthy afterwards. So this guy is dealing 1500 damage because I didn't deal any damage to him, and this guy will just straight up kill us. So we do have a really ridiculous amount of HP, but the problem is that the HP is not gonna carry us too far since we cannot heal in between. So what we need is, we need a lot of luck that most of them don't immediately explode. But here's the catch. If I kill one of them by dealing enough damage, he will cast Arise, or Life 2, depending on what you know it under, and that revives all of his allies that have fallen in combat so far with full HP. Now, they cannot do that forever, they can only cast that twice. But it's still kind of a major problem, because I cannot target the Oath ability at all. It's random targeting. So I need to essentially get a really lucky string of abilities going, and them not exploding for max damage. Well, that guy is dead. So one less to explode, I guess. Unfortunately, Flaremancer is kind of wasted if you target the same guy twice. Good evening to you, Kafka. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. So this is kind of where there's not a whole lot we can do. We can hope for Zombie Dragon and Rashi forms to deal area effect damage, so all of them get hit more or less equivalently to each other, rather than some of them still having full HP and exploding for full damage. I will try this, let's say, up to 30 deaths. I'm gonna go for... let's see how potentially lucky we can get. Once we reach 30 deaths, I will be breaking rods. And let me tell you, I just need to break 2 rods and all of them die instantly. And it's going to be really easy. Maybe 1 is going to be sufficient even. Either way, it's gonna be really simple, and I don't predict much of a trouble once we break rods. But once again, I'd like to try and see how far we can get as just a Necromancer. And let me tell you, there's other classes that have a tremendous amount of trouble with those guys too, because a lot of classes don't have any form of area of effect, so that's kind of a big problem. But also, a lot of classes don't have any real way of surviving this too well, aside from just healing themselves with elixirs as soon as they take one explosion to their face. If you would like to watch our Dancer run, the Dancer was actually really high level, but just barely was above 1500 HP. And it took many tries for us to defeat this group of enemies. Oh, they are actually even poisoned. That's kinda neat. 2 self-destruct. Unfortunately, this is going to be too much damage. 1 more death. So the deaths are reasonably quick, which is why I go up to 30 at this point. And yes, there is an easy way to deal with this if I were to break rods. And the thing is, I really just try to use the Necromancer abilities without breaking rods. But at the same time, being able to equip rods is an ability of only specific classes, so I'm not above taking advantage of that for the sake of let's not have to get too lucky. So that's that. So I feel like 2 Raji forms in a row, or even 3, would be interesting. So we have a 1 in 4 chance for Raji form to appear, and 1 in 8 chance for Bone Drake to appear. So what I would like to see is at least 2 AoEs in a row sometime, just to see how this is gonna be. So I would like to see another Raji form here, and that way we might be able to actually survive a reasonable amount. Oh, nice. Do you consider breaking rods as a class ability or black mage or what? It's mostly... it's part of the class ability. But in a sense, I mostly consider it to be a class ability of the... Ah, 3 exploded. Wow. Rip. I mostly consider it a class ability in quotation marks of the Freelancer and Mime, since their main draw is that they can equip most things. So yeah, I guess it's kind of a class ability of the Black Mage in a certain sense. And I will be taking advantage of it, most likely against at least Atmos as a Black Mage. But beyond that, I'm not sure. Hey Wind Waker, welcome to you, I hope you're doing well. Skeleton, unfortunately, is not gonna do the trick. And yes, this is currently emulated because once again, I'm in Japan, I don't have most of my things around. We have actually gotten really lucky on a lot of previous bosses such as Biblos and Ifrit and I think at least some others where we ended up being able to just defeat them by using Oath alone. And I feel like we got really lucky because the chances for that to happen seems to be relatively low. Up there. Do I have this on a Game Boy player? Well, by now I have a GameCube, I have a GameCube Game Boy player. I do have a disc for it. Although those things are very separate because I only got the GameCube player recently here in Japan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, actually that's a good point, Blood. That's a very good point. The one thing I don't have at all is... I do not have a Game Genie or anything like that for the thing, so I couldn't have inputted a cheat code. Well, kind of, as Blood just pointed out. I don't have a Game Genie. Actually, how expensive our Game Boy Advance Game Genie thing is? Yeah, we couldn't unlock Necromancer without it. Actually never looked into that, I have to admit, because I don't need it. Or so I thought. So, the best case scenario would be if the 2 front guys exploded, but the others don't explode at all and we survive all that damage. Wow, none of them exploded. That's actually really interesting. Skeleton really doesn't help us in this scenario though. So the chance for none of them to explode, by the way, is 2 and 3 to the power of 6. And I'm too lazy to calculate that in my head. Hey Jabblekins, thank you for the good luck, I appreciate that. Alright, that guy exploding is good actually. We might get lucky enough here, hang on. We got one Rashi form only though. And a few skeletons somewhere. So we need like 2 more Rashi forms here, and we might be able to do this. If it's a Flaremancer, it's actually kinda bad. So we just hope for not Flaremancer here. Okay, this actually could be interesting, because we do not want to kill those guys. That would be bad, since they will cast a Rise and revive all of their fallen allies if they do that. Should I attack again? So, here's the thing. If I get another Rashi forms, I don't know how much damage they took so far. It is 3 so far, about 900, so 1 skeleton is not gonna kill them. But we have a 2 in 8 chance to the Flaremancer instead, or 2 in 8 for Rashi forms. So do we attack or do we wait now? Each one of them has about 600 HP left. Actually, 3 of them exploding is still gonna kill me. So I think I need to at least attack. What I could do is I could attack with the Guardian Dagger, which should deal about 200 damage each. So I think physical attacks would be the idea. What is the benefit of attacking? So each one explodes for however much HP they have left. And since they have probably about 600 HP left, most of them anyways, they would explode for 600 damage. And I don't survive that 4 times. And yes, a Rise is a counterattack. I'm gonna attack physically. And just hope that it's not gonna push him over the edge. Those block dodges, by the way, are really important too. Okay. 444. Yeah, if they explode, they actually don't cast a Rise. That's the benefit of that. You might be able to do this. I would be really surprised, actually. Kind of wish I kept track of which guys got hit by skeletons a little bit more clearly now. I wanna defend here, so I take less physical damage if they decide to attack physically. And yeah, I haven't kept track of what they have. Can I do anything else? So the other guy exploded for 444. Yeah, if any of them has gotten hit by a skeleton... Well, actually, probably the guy that exploded for 444 got hit by a skeleton, so we should still be fine attacking, in theory. Should I attack? I really think I should be able to attack them still. I'm gonna attack the guy in the back once, because this is at least gonna reduce the damage by about 100 right there. Should I attack him again though? It's really dangerous if they just decide to revive their brethren now. I'm gonna defend here. Self-destruct, let's see. This is the guy I only hit once. 400 damage. Alright. 630. Oh boy. Oh boy. This guy needs to have less than 248 HP. Which I think if I attack him with the Guardian Dagger, I'm gonna deal more than that. I need to change out weapons and deal less than that. Flame Rod is so inaccurate though, and my only other weapon is a knife. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna attack a second time though. So that's 120 damage less. I'm going to equip the Mangosh again for the block chance in case he decides to not explode. Let's see. No! Ah, he had way more HP left. Alrighty, I need to more accurately... I need to more accurately keep track of how many... or who the skeleton will hit. Because I could have actually attacked twice with the Guardian Dagger right there, and we would have won. Hey Racodactylus, welcome, how are you doing? Let's see. Skeleton on the top left guy for 200 damage exactly. I see, well then. I hope you enjoy your relaxing day. Rashi forms, one is... Let's see the range of damage here real quick. I'm gonna pause. So the range of damage is 300 to 336, I think, yeah. About the 30 damage variance, but at least 300 damage each time. So if we get 3 Rachi forms in a row or something like that, we would be able to... Oh wow. So that's 600 damage to each one of them at least. Up to 650 plus the 200 for one guy. Ah, that's probably not gonna work anymore. Yeah, it's gonna be... Yeah. We got incredibly lucky because in the previous attempt we had all of them not explode. Or, well, none of them explode, I guess that's more appropriate to express that way. Let's see, what is the chance of none of them exploding? It is 2 divided by 3 to the power of 6, so that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was about an 8.7% chance. Let's say 8.8% chance to work out without any of them exploding. So actually not too terrible odds, at least not as bad as I thought they were. Let's try this again. Rashi forms right away, that's really good. So 300 damage to each one of them approximately. Then I would like to have another one, or a zombie dragon would actually be interesting. I wonder whether they would cast a rise if they die from a zombie dragon poison tick. Okay, the bottom center has taken 220 more damage. Everything else is 300, this guy's at 500 damage. Come on, Rashi forms! But actually this kind of tells me that we can do it with just the Necromancer. Alright, those two. This is probably already the death sentence as soon as that guy explodes. Because now we have no HP left. Alrighty. Seems very heavy. Oh, Meso, thank you. Thank you so much, Meso, for subscribing to Twitch Prime. Welcome to you. Well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you very much. Skellington! Bottom center again. You really don't like that bottom center dude, do you? At least the skeleton doesn't seem to. By the way, the Game Boy Advance version gives you a lot more time until enemy attacks resolve. Alright, that guy is almost dead at this point. I would actually prefer to kill him off myself through a Rashi form or something of that equivalent, rather than him exploding for not that much damage, but at the same time there's no reason why we wouldn't want to kill off at least one of them, since if we kill off one, they are not gonna explode anymore. Alright, 500 damage on the bottom one, the bottom right is dead, the rest has taken 300 damage. So let's see. Okay, that is interesting. So we would like to have another Raji form. Oh, this is actually not good, because this is now going to revive the other guy with full HP. So he will have 1500 HP again. Worth noting that the bottom left guy now only has one more Arise to cast. Also the bottom right guy will now have to restart his ATB, so he is not gonna be able to immediately explode alongside everybody else. Bottom right please. Oh, actually he did get to attack after all. It seems like it just instantly stopped his ATB, which is actually really bad, because he did have the chance to explode there. Alrighty, let's see. This is a wide range of damage. 500 to the top guy, 100 to the bottom, 400 to that guy, 400 to that guy. So the top guys take a lot more damage. Ouch, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, we only barely survived that. We pretty much have to hope for... Not that. Actually, this might be... No, he will die, because Raji form was before. No, he didn't. This is interesting. So, another Raji form will kill the bottom guys, right? For others. I'm gonna hit this guy, though. This guy took 400, 2 Raji forms, plus 400 from the poison, plus another 100 tick right now from the poison. So that is 1100. I just hit him for 200. So one more attack with the Guardian Dagger would kill him, so I just hope for a poison tick and then he explodes. The top left guy, he took a skeleton lightning bolt. He took 3 Raji forms, so that is 1200. There's 2 poison ticks so far, so I do not want to attack actually. So we only have very, very little HP to play with at this point. But this might work out. It's probably too much. Probably too much. Unless this guy probably have like basically no HP left. Yeah. Alrighty. This is not gonna work this way. I would need like poison to not kill enemies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wait here. And hope that the poison kills the top left guy. And he doesn't cast a rise. If he casts a rise, if he goes to poison... Oh, never mind. 72 HP! Oh, he would have to type the next poison tick. How do you want to do that? With a lot of luck. But the thing is, I said once we reach 30 deaths, I will be breaking rods in order to get past this part more easily. I just want to see how close we can get to completing this, and actually we got really close once already. So I feel like I want to try this for a bit longer. And welcome to you, the Morg. Hello, how are you doing? Let's see. I would appreciate Zombie Dragon right away actually. I feel like that would be pretty much the perfect thing. Assuming the poison ticks don't kill those guys, otherwise the Zombie Dragon might actually be the worst. Skeleton, really not great. Top left guy got hit. And greetings to you, Steel and Brad. Thank you for the good luck. I will definitely need it if I try it this way. For reference, by the way, we could just break rods. 2 of rods breaking would just straight up kill all of them. But my guy should be dead, or at least at very low HP. Yeah, he's dead. Top left guy took 500 damage, everybody else only 300, so we hope they don't explode. Alright, actually, this is interesting. Huh. Ooh, another skeleton, not what we need. So, top left and bottom middle got hit by skeletons so far. Each one of them has 500 damage, and everybody else only 300. Skeleton again. Oh, there's more guys now with 500 HP than 300. Damage taken, that is, specifically. I only get one more ult. I hope for a Raji form here. Please no Flaremancer, that would be not good. Zombie Dragon is interesting. So let's see the numbers real quick. Because it has such a wide range. Let's say 100 to those guys, so those are 600. This guy on the left is 700. The top guy is at 700 as well. No, he isn't. He's at 500. Top right is actually at 700 too. So the lowest that there is the guy at the top. That's not good. Don't self-destruct already. This is going to be really difficult to keep track of. Alright, the top guy took the most damage from this time. It's actually about 900. The bottom left guy is about at 800. The top left guy is about at 1000 damage. Top right is I have no idea. A bunch more. A Raji form would put them to rather low HP, but it's really difficult to keep track of the HP because the zombie dragon scrambles the HP so much. One Raji form, please. It might be bad. This guy is really close to death. Not that close that the poison tick would kill him, apparently. 194. That was actually a lot closer than I thought it was. I'm gonna physically attack the top right guy. He should be relatively healthy still. No, he wasn't! Oh no! He wasn't. Oh boy. Give them that. That one is pretty much my death sentence. Alright. If I want to do this more efficiently, I would want to keep exact track of their HP totals. So I would need to use 4 calculators or so. Or I'm just gonna use a notepad actually. Notepad. It would be nicer if I just had something to write real quick. Although actually, I'm better at typing than I'm writing on both hand or by hand. Rashi forms. You want to keep the track of the exact HP or damage numbers here, or do I want to just keep track of approximate ones? Also, how do I do this? So we have the top center, we have the top right, then we have the bottom right, then we have the bottom center, then we have the bottom left and the top right. Top left, excuse me. Alright. That is 312 plus, well, I guess no pluses. 316, 312, 320, 308. Alright. I mean, this might just die instantly, in theory anyways, but might as well try it, right? Oh, another one. Alright. There's 300 damage there being covered. I've been specifically looking for that. The top center 328, 300 on the right side, 316, 308, 324, and 3116. Right. Each one of them took a bit more than 600 damage so far. So if we get lucky, we get another Rashi form or even a zombie dragon. I don't know how good a zombie dragon is at all. I could use a spreadsheet. That would probably be easier actually. top right takes another 220. Oh, might just explode for too much damage right now anyways. Yeah, this is not gonna work out. Most likely anyways. Ouch. Not at this point anymore. At this point, what I just hope for is Zombie Dragon almost killing them. Another 200. That's not bottom left, that is bottom right. Each one of them takes an additional 300. So I basically need them to not explode at all and never attack anymore. Thank you very much. And just run out of MP. That's not gonna happen. Or I still don't know whether poison is going to not trigger the arise or not. I would love to know that actually. Goodbye. Good attempt though. But yeah, I like the spreadsheet idea a lot more than what I'm doing here. The spreadsheet is easier to calculate. Because that actually, I can just make an addition thing, don't I? So we have top center, top right, bottom center, bottom left, top left. Okay, did I miss one? And then I just write the numbers in here and I have a total afterwards. Yeah. Spreadsheet is way better. Haha. I did not do that right, by the way. Top right, bottom right, bottom center, bottom left, and top left. I'm just gonna use the sum of the numbers that I write in those cells on the left. Then we can just restart. Ah, this is actually way better. May not help with the current strat. Okay. Top center takes 200. Exactly. May not help with the current strat, but it might be able to silence them with the Mage Masher when they get low. That does lose the Guardian. Oh! Oh, that would be actually really good. It does lose the Guardian Dagger, but at least we would have a 1 in 4 chance to kill them. If nothing else. So this actually would have helped quite a bit. Why did I not think of that? Actually, I can tell you. The main reason why I haven't really thought of the Guardian Dagger, or the Mage Mash, excuse me, is because I know in the Game Boy Advance version it's not useful against Gilgamesh on the bridge. So I just kind of dismissed it outright for no good reason, actually, in hindsight. 300... No, 300 on the top left, 316 on the bottom left. And I need to check the number here, right to 320. Let's see. And that's that already. But yeah, Mage Master is a really good idea. Adding +1 to the death counter. Mage Master is a really good idea. Let's go and get one. Because it is actually a Mage Master, for anyone who does not know, is a weapon that has a 1 in 4 chance to proc a silence attack. And if the Purebros are silenced, they will no longer be able to revive their allies. Which is kind of a big deal, I dare to say. So what I should have done is I should have bought a Mage Masher a while ago. This village here. And it would have potentially helped me. Plus, it deals slightly less damage than the Guardian Dagger, which might also be useful / relevant on top of that. Alrighty, let's get one. How much money do I have? Just barely enough, I guess. 900 for a Mage Master. I might actually buy... Yeah, I'm gonna buy 2 more. 3? I can't just give everybody in my party a Mage Master. That way, it's easier to kill them off. Like, if they have a better weapon to just one-shot themselves, makes it simpler too. Alrighty, we have a Mage Master now. Or 3, I guess. That's a really good thought, Lachlan. By the way, anybody who has any thoughts or inputs or questions for that matter, feel free to input as well. You don't have to be... You can have just made one casual playthrough and say, hey, this is the thing, maybe that helps. And even though I have played this game many, many times, I forget stuff. Or maybe I just don't know about certain things, who knows. But kind of like in speedruns, as in challenge runs, I am always happy for people thinking along as well. What crystal unlocks Chemisticum? Earth Crystal. Earth Crystal is the last thing that we literally just did in the game, well, just before Titan and the other dude. We haven't seen a Flaremancer in a while now. Self-destruct. Well, that's pretty much a death sentence right there. There it is. Let's see. We actually got. I dare to say. I don't. I guess no. I dare to say we've gotten incredibly lucky so far. With how many times we've got away with them not exploding and getting many Raji forms in a row. I feel like that was really lucky, but we still didn't quite succeed because I wasn't keeping track properly of those things. So what I would like to do is, instead of stopping at 30 deaths and just using a rod breaking ability, I would like to stop after 30 deaths once we have gotten a really good attempt in again. I think that is kind of how I'm gonna try and handle that. I did not do that right. I'm trying to adjust the spreadsheet a little bit, where instead of it telling me how much damage I've done, how much HP do you have left? Alright, none of them exploded. Surprising. Okay, Raji forms. The top right one is 312. So 308, 12, 300, 320, 328, 304. Right. Oh, few of them die actually. Everybody else has 300, except for one who has 500 damage, which is the top right one. Bottom right now gets another 200. Which he is exactly at 500 damage taken so far. Another Raji forms, alright. This is interesting now. 320 in the top right one. Top center is dead, so 320, 320, 300. Oh, no, not this guy. This guy is dead. 300 and 312. Let me real quick try to figure out how to display this slightly differently. Can I do this? I can. Okay, this makes more sense. Alrighty, so No. They still have a bunch of HP left, like 700, 900, 700, and 900. So this is still gonna hurt if they explode. That's a big one. 680. Wait, that... No. Oh, I must have made a mistake somewhere. This guy only has 680 HP left. Oh. Oh, I see my mistake. There we go. Yeah, this guy exploded for 680. Okay. So let's see real quick. Only 3 left. The top right guy has 656 HP remaining. The bottom left guy has 872, and the top left guy has 884. So if I get a Flaremancer, this would be kind of worst case scenario, because then 3 of them immediately revive with max HP again. If I get a skeleton, it's not gonna do a whole lot. If I get Raji forms, that would be the best scenario, because that would be 900 damage across the board that we don't take guaranteed. If we get a zombie dragon, that would be good too. So 3 in 8 chance, it's really good. 2 in 8 is really bad. 3 in 8 where it's not that great. But, well, actually 3 in 8 is just doing the damage. So I'm gonna go Oath. So only 2 in 8 times it's gonna be really bad with the Flaremancer. Okay, top right takes another 200 exactly, actually. So this is... He has 400 and some change left, so even the Raji form will not kill him. I will start using the dagger as soon as a Raji form would kill one guy. A high roll dragon could kill him. Okay, well. He would survive one more skeleton. And a physical attack will actually put him into really low range of HP. And I kind of want him to explode. We're on the 22 now. Right, he has 22 HP left. Ooh, that's the wrong guy. Please don't explode. Okay. You explode, Please explode, actually. This guy only has 22 HP left. So 111. Bottom left is now the last guy remaining that has a good chance of killing us. By the way, silence does not prevent them from exploding. Explode is blue magic, and blue magic cannot be silenced for whatever reason. He has 653 HP left. I'm not gonna be able to do this, so 2 in 3 chance for us to die next turn. Right. 108. He has a 431 HP left. He's in the back row, which is why he takes only half damage. Oh, that was really not necessary. 117. 314 HP left. We need the front guy to explode though. Or at least us to avoid his physical attacks. He has 197 HP left, so right now we would survive an explosion of both of them, I think. Yeah, we would. He has 111 HP left now. Alrighty. He has 86 HP left. Explode, please. Yes! Victory! Nice! Mildly unexpected to do this without breaking rods, but we got lucky. This was so much easier to keep track of with a spreadsheet, by the way, so thank you for that suggestion. By the way, if anybody would like to see the spreadsheet thing, I just put it into the spreadsheet that I use for Necromancer planning. So, actually, I have an easy way to show that now, don't I? Here. Basically, this is the top center, top right, bottom center, bottom left, top left. And the last two were bottom left, which eventually had only 86 HP left, and the top right, which had only 22 HP left. Yeah, that's nice. Alrighty, we got it. Mage Smasher was not needed this time, but we did get really lucky overall, let's put it that way. But the Mage Smasher would have been useful last time, although what also would have been really useful last time was keeping exact track of how much HP the enemies had left. If I just did that last time as well, we might have actually won anyways, because then I would have known how much HP he had left. And I would not have attacked him. Oh, before we go into the next world, I want to get potentially enough rods to just straight up kill Gilgamesh on the bridge, which means he has 6500 HP. We deal about 2000 damage per rod breaking plus some change. For the last 2500 HP, he does have shells, so we only deal half damage. So it's about 3 rods plus 2, so 5 rods total. I don't plan on using them initially, kind of like before. I will just get them in case I need them. Then, aside from that, I would like to have 2 spare rods for each other occasion. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I want 7... Did I just buy 2 more? Alright, we get 7 flame rods. And stuff like that. Can I sell anything? I can sell the ancient sword. Unfortunately, I can never use that. Hold on to Alrighty, so I would like to have 2 frost rods. I don't really have a plan on where to use the frost and thunder rods. The fire rods are essentially just my safety thing, or in case I need to break more rods, which I don't expect to have the need to, but it's always possible. Alrighty, and with this, we are pretty much off into World 2. With 263 HP remaining, that will be easily sufficient. Let's go. Did I forget anything? Maybe. Probably not, actually. There. That's really nice. Again, did not expect to get a victory this quickly. Considering it's only about an 8.7% chance for none of them to explode. And they did that like 3 times in our attempts. I was really lucky. But we are really close to our first Dark Arts. I would say like half an hour of cutscenes and a bit of a boss fight later will be there. Oh, by the way, for anybody who has not been here when I explained that, what I want to do is I want to try and take optional challenge of defeating the mini-bosses, either just Gilgamesh with solo Galuf, or for that matter, Gilgamesh, the Antlion at the beginning of World 2, with a solo character with the appropriate job that we have at the time. So that means that we are going to be trying to defeat Gilgamesh in the prison with solo Galuf Necromancer, which, as someone so nicely put it, Galuf as a Necromancer is just a shadow of his former self. You'll see what we mean. Because Galuf is not supposed to be able to be a Necromancer. If we win this fight, we get an ether. If we lose it, we just continue on the story. Hurricane. That's pretty bad for us. But hey, not much we can do about that now. Hey, we win actually. Nice. Ether is worth at least 750 gold. If I don't use it for anything else, like actually restoring magic, that is. Which ethers might actually be somewhat reasonably useful, thinking about it. Considering we should probably not use elixirs in combat, ethers are actually our only way to restore MP during combat. Alrighty, so as mentioned before, trying to do this with Swallow Gallow. So, Oath is actually not an innate ability of the Necromancer, so we had to somehow give Gallow that Oath ability. The way I did this... Oh shoot, I forgot to... Oh no. This is not gonna work, guys. Did I save? I did not just save right now, did I? I saved before entering this. Alright. That's good. I saved after Purebros, that's good. Alrighty. Minor mistake. I need to unequip the Guardian Dagger and the Elf Cape from Butts before I go there, so I did forget something. And just a bit more cutscenes. That's okay. So, I need the Elf Cape and I need the Guardian Dagger in order to have Galef at level 1 defeat Gilgamesh, because our only way of survival is dodging his physical attacks. Gilgamesh in the prison is not supposed to be a difficult boss. He's literally just there as a little story piece. You deal 1,500 damage to him and he is gone. It's really easy usually, even with a solo Galef that is a white mage, you should not have any trouble with him in a casual playthrough. However, unfortunately, we are level 1, and even though he doesn't do much physical damage, his physical damage is enough to one-shot level 1 Galef. So we need the Guardian Dagger and the Elf Cape to block at least one physical attack, and then get lucky enough to get 2 Flaremancers rolling. Actually, a Flaremancer and something else would already do the trick. And that is kind of all I am really looking for. But yeah. I even said, did I forget anything? Nah, probably not. I thought of everything. Except for unequipping stuff, because I need that on the Gallow. Yeah. By the way, if you just sit here without ever using a tent, eventually you get into a cutscene where the characters tell each other, you know, we should probably use a tent in order to make camp, because this is actually the only way to progress at this point. Maybe we get lucky again. Zombie Dragon. I don't know whether this guy is immune to poison. He's almost... He does have almost no immunity, so he might not be. We have no armor anymore, and also no way to dodge stuff. I think we might actually kill him right here. I assume he only has like 1500 HP. Yep, alrighty. That went well. Very nice. Necromancer seems decent. Yeah, Necromancer is really strong. As a counteraction to having a chemist, Necromancer just now. Personally, I would prefer if we had a bit of a weaker class next. But then again, it's a nice and smooth ride with a few bumps in the road where we just need to get lucky enough. And we did, which is nice. So far, Archeo Abyss is probably the only boss where we probably could have gone through without breaking any rods at all, and we still broke rods. I don't think we could have gotten past Soul Cannon without breaking rods. Actually, I wonder how much damage we would deal with a dagger once we are level 99 as a Necromancer. Because maybe I would be able to one-shot the launchers and then deal enough damage to the Soul Cannon with just the Guardian Dagger. I'll be kind of curious, I guess. Alrighty, we are back here. So, let's try this again. So, as mentioned before, as an optional challenge, I like to try and defeat the mini-bosses and optional side bosses, so to speak, with just a single solo character as well. In this case, for Solo Galuf as a Necromancer, we actually gave him 15 ability points by defeating enemies that do not give any experience at all, just the ability points. And he is now a Necromancer with the Oath ability, since you do not inherently start with the Oath ability as a character. So right now, he's a level 1 Necromancer. And with just a little bit of luck with the Oath ability, we will be able to defeat Gilgamesh here in the prison. We only need to deal 1500 damage. So worth noting, all of the Galufs at the bottom look like freelancer Galufs, because Galuf is not supposed to be a Necromancer. You lose him halfway through the second world here. So he is basically just a shadow of his former self. So Gilgamesh here does never anything aside from physically attacking. We do have a slightly higher than 50% chance to block his physical attacks with the Guardian Dagger and Elf Cape combination, but we still will die probably quite a bunch until we manage to get enough Oath abilities out in order to defeat Gilgamesh. But we've had worse RNG things, so might as well go. Should you go back and watch the first VOD of this run? Maybe to get a bit of a better understanding of how Necromancer works, it might be useful. Other than that, you will probably also pick up stuff along the way, and feel free to ask, even if I've said stuff already. Not much of a reason not to just repeat it at times. Once again, 1500 damage and we win against this guy. Zombie Dragon deals anywhere from 50 to 500 damage, so yeah. Can also poison. I'm pretty sure this guy is actually immune against poison though. Ooh. So Flaremancer is about 1300 damage. We actually don't have quite enough damage right here. Rah! One more oath of anything would have won us the battle here with Galuf. Any oath would have won right here. Any. Because he only had like 5 HP left. Oh wow, the Angry Canuck is now hosting you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to you, Solar Access, as well. I hope you have a pleasant day so far. Yeah, it was explained, but in text form it's always a bit easier to understand than me potentially mumbling a bunch, so that's okay. Thank you, Lachlan. I'm a dummy. I accidentally attacked physically. 74 damage, at least I know now that we could have used a physical attack to win last time. Rah! Ouch. Didn't matter in the end, but that's okay. Hey Kanak, thank you very much for the good luck. I can only use that. Welcome to you, I hope you're doing well. Alrighty, let's not forget to switch over to Oath. About 300 damage. Take this! Blocked with the Guardian Dagger. 1 in 4 chance. Magic Forms. Alright, it's about 300. So, one more Flaremancer would kill him. Which is a 2 in 8 chance. Nice block. We're getting somewhere. Take this! Ouch. But yeah, he deals 200-ish damage. We are in the front row, so we could half that amount, but it would still be more than double our health, the damage we would take in the end, so we have to rely on the Elf Cape and stuff. We do, however, know that it can happen. The odds are at worst 1 in 16 for 2 Flaremancers to appear in the succession. But actually, I think the Flaremancer and the Rashi form will do the trick too, so pretty decent odds, I would say, to win this. Oh, nice. So you can only find a patch and open up all classes before into Gallows World. How do you get to play this cheat you are using? So what I did is I used the RAM Watch tool of BizHawk, which is the emulator I'm currently using, and I know which address I'm looking at. I can actually demonstrate this real quick if you'd like. So what I did is I viewed the RAM Watch tool. BizHawk is a specific emulator, and I'm looking at a specific address. Oh, this could be a little bit awkward to try and find. I got it. Let's see whether the RAM watch is still there. There it is, alright. So this is the RAM address that we are looking for, essentially. So this is the address right here, and the value by default is like 2 or something like that. So all I did is I used BizHawk, right-clicked and selected poke, which means you set the value to a specific value of your choice. I set it to FFFFFFFFF, and that actually unlocked the Necromancer class. I don't know why it keeps changing the number here, actually I have no idea what that means. But I only poked it once, I didn't freeze the address or anything like that, and the game just kind of kept the settings since then. I couldn't tell you a cheat code for it. I don't use a patch, or basically use something equivalent to altering the RAM addresses like Game Genie or something like that. Oh, Alright, Zombie Dragon can deal up to 500, but as little as 50. 75, that's probably the lowest roll I've seen so far. Alright. Gilgamesh versus the Invisible Man. I mean, now we know why Galuf did not need to sneak when walking past this cage here, because when you come back up, Butts goes, oh, we probably shouldn't be detected by those guys, and tries to sneak and crawl below that area. But Galuf just walks past. He's invisible. Obviously. Oh. Take this! Oh. I'd like to not take that, thank you very much. Oh, that's the wrong number to replace. So, the easy way of doing this, and this is just an optional challenge, there's really not a whole lot going on. The easy way to do this is, instead of being a Necromancer, we would just turn Galuf into a Samurai, and he would be able to one-shot Gilgamesh with Guild Toss. Actually, maybe not, because I might not have enough money for that. I didn't think of that. Either way, there's other ways of dealing with this guy that don't rely so heavily on using a red cape and a knife to block his attacks. Nice block so far. Flaremancer would win us, it's the 1 in 4 chance right here. Skeleton unfortunately doesn't win us. We have about 700 damage so far. And that wasn't enough. 1500 is the goal. 1500 is Gilgamesh HP in a sense. He technically has more, but 1500 is what you need to deal in order to win the battle. Kind of like Soul Cannon, who technically has 22,500 HP rather than 12,500. But that's just for programming purposes, so instead of you killing the enemy outright, it will just go into spiel, oh, I've dropped below a certain amount of HP, let me just do my fancy death animation or runaway animation. So let's see. We essentially need a Flaremancer, at least one, and then another 200 damage. So pretty much every, let's just assume every other summon will deal at least 200 damage. Even though last time Skeleton Dragon is not gonna do that. And we need one Flaremancer, so we need to dodge one attack at least, which is about a 50% chance. Then we have 1 in 4 chance for Flaremancer, though that's a 1 in 8 for both of things to occur. So 1 in 8 times, we kind of should win eventually. There's a Flaremancer, now we need to dodge an attack. And not get a Skeleton Dragon, I guess. Ah, no dodging. Also, a low roll of the Skeleton would also not be enough, but I can equip a Thunder Rod, and even the lowest roll of the Skeleton would then subsequently kill him, because a Thunder Rod increases our lightning elemental damage by 50%. Skeleton is lightning elemental. So, just get enough as a note to save self. If I get a Flaremancer first turn, I want to switch to a Thunder Rod. Because Flare just did slightly under 1300 damage, and Skeleton can deal exactly 200. So that would be less than ideal. BizHawk Solar Plexus. Basically, if you go to testvideos.org, you will find an emulator, BizHawk, which essentially can emulate a lot of different games. The main reason why I use BizHawk is because it's the most accurate compared to console. So that's just kind of why I choose that one. Zombie dragon. Hopefully not a super low roll. Alright. Necromancer would do the trick, but we don't get a Necromancer. He's really good at hitting us right now. Most emulators these days have a built-in modifier RAM like that. Yeah, I can imagine. But it might be... Well, that's just kind of the one way I know how to do that. I tried to convert or figure out how the cheat codes for Game Genies and Game Sharks and stuff like that works. But I've never actually managed to figure out how that works on this Hawk. So I just looked up the RAM address instead and set the value manually, which was easier to me because I know how to do that. Alrighty. We have a 50% chance to win at this point. Because we need to just dodge one attack. Ooh, nice. We should win. Unless we get a 1 in 8 zombie dragon with a really low roll. Equipping a thunder rod. Skeleton will kill him. Good thing I equipped the thunder rod.
Inconceivable! Well then, that's enough of a meeting for today. Don't step on a flying again. Bye!
Alrighty, took us quite a few deaths here. But we got it. Oh, actually should update the amount of deaths we had so far. Yes, otherwise I'm gonna forget how many we had on what. Actually, I'm already a bit late on this. Haha. So we started at 14 deaths. We had 0 anti-icon and 0 and chimera brain. We get onto 27, so that is a total of 13 deaths on Rebelos, and we are now at 38, so that's a total of 11 damage, 11 on Gilgamesh. I'm gonna actually update this thing real quick because right now I don't have a Gilgamesh for Gala. I'll make this more pretty later. Alrighty, 38 total. Just double checking whether it still sums up the entire thing. Alrighty, good. Alrighty, Gala, you did a good job. Very good job, because Necromancer is a pretty good job. So, now we could go back into being a freelancer. You don't get any abilities, I'm sorry. Unequip everything and you get one of the Mage Mashers. So I bought the Mage Mashers for my allies to... I didn't realize you still had a lot of armor. For my allies to one-shot themselves. With their physical attacks. That way it's easier to take care of them. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Something like that. I mean... I guess 2 of our allies have been Spider Father now already. No fairies. Makes friends with a shell bear.
Whoa, better not let them see me.
And he just crawls around. Fun fact, if you open up the menu and switch out characters, you have different characters running around. So Paris does her best Sonic impression. And Galov, he just plays dead. He's really good at this. Alternatively, we have Lena, who makes her best Luigi from Smash Bros. Impression to pull the cross. Luigi. Indeed. Alrighty, and we're out of here. So. Now, there's just one somewhat major boss battle in the way of us getting through here, and I also should not forget to actually equip bots again. So, we want to have as much physical defense as possible, which means elemental. Save Surplus has slightly more defense than the Off Cape, although less magic evasion, but I don't think I care about magic evasion right now. So that's better. Alrighty, now we briefly save and enjoy some good music. So this first battle here we can never avoid, but the remainder of the battles we actually do have methods of avoiding getting killed by them. Those little chariots are actually weak against lightning element, have about 500 HP. They deal a good chunk of damage with the mustard bombs, so they are somewhat dangerous. But with just a little bit of luck we should be able to sneak by them. Mustard bombs deal about 300 damage and also inflict the HP leak status. It's pretty dangerous. Wow, they've been really blasting us with those bombs so far. But Skeleton will do the trick. So, as long as I walk properly now, there will be no more encounters here on the bridge. I'm just gonna use an elixir to heal up, because I'm lazy. And I don't expect to win first try, for that matter. So, alrighty. This is Gilgamesh on the bridge. He's actually a real boss now. So he has 6,500 HP. Once he drops below 2,500 HP, he will start going into essentially a frenzy, where he casts Shell, Haste and Protect on himself, effectively taking only half damage from all sources, which that's kinda bad already. But on top of that, he gains the ability to jump, which means he will deal full damage to the back row without us being able to block it. It's pretty bad overall. On top of that, he also goes about 3 times as quick as we do, because haste is kinda broken in this game. Like, broken good, that is. Not anything buggy, it's just way too good. Either way, the plan is to just pull a bunch of Flaremancers and hopefully defeat him before he defeats us, kind of like so many other enemies. Goblin Punch deals full physical damage, unblockable to the back row. Hey Dingsbums, welcome! Hope you're doing well. Essentially, we need to get lucky enough to pull a bunch of Flaremancers in order to push him into the second phase, and then somehow survive the second phase for long enough to get enough Flaremancers again. Because here's the thing. Flaremancers damage halved is only about 650. And considering that he phase changes below... was it 2,000 actually, rather than 3,000? I'm looking this up real quick. Either way, even 2,000 would mean we would still need 3 more Flaremancers in order to kill him, unless we get lucky to pull a Flaremancer just right before he switches phases. So we would need to get really lucky for that roll. Considering we haven't gotten a single one, I predict this is not going to be a successful attempt here. Because, again, he can't just jump and goes about 3 times as fast as we do in the second one here. Let's see. Yeah, it is below 2,500 HP, so best case scenario, 3 more Flaremancers after he switches. So this is likely not gonna happen without just breaking rods. It technically could, but the probability might be too low for us to bother to try much. So what I'm gonna do is kind of like before, I will go up to, let's say, 50 deaths on this guy here. If we don't get it by 50 deaths, I will start breaking rods in order to win, essentially. Oh, it is still disabled. I thought I updated it. And hey, Wicked Gamer Dude, welcome, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing quite fine, thank you. $516, actually even less than I thought it was. So we need quite a few Flaremancers here. And we need to get really lucky in his second phase too. That jump is no joke, nope, it's really good. It's essentially not just his regular physical damage like it is on a dragoon, but Gilgamesh apparently has a spear, so it's doubled. So, for the sake of simplicity, what I will be doing on these guys is I'm just gonna break a rod, because they are not much of an issue, they just take a while to kill. So I'm just kind of simplifying this process to get back to Gilgamesh. What is a Necromancer in this game? Necromancer is a really powerful spellcaster, but there's a few quirks that we have to deal with. On one hand, he's undead, which means we cannot heal in combat through regular means. Right now we have literally no means at all of healing, so however much HP we have, that's how much we have to deal with in the end. No re-equip mangoes. Pretty sure I have it still, don't I? Oh, no I don't, I just... You're right, Wally, thank you. No, you're right, I messed that up. Thank you for the heads up. I was thinking I equipped it before the bridge. Right, I exploded the thunder rod this time. Either way, that's one of the big deals. Oath is an ability that essentially is a lot like the Dancer's dance command. You have Flaremancer, which deals really good damage, and that's kind of what we want to see most of the time against bosses, since there's not much else you can do. Then you have Skeleton, which deals a little bit of damage to Archiforms, which deals damage to all enemies, and then Zombie Dragon, which deals damage to all enemies, but highly variable one. Since random meta you do, yes, I can't choose target or what exactly is happening. So we are kind of stuck with what we get. But it's a pure luck game at this point. And here we need to get in at least 3 attacks. 4 actually. And get lucky that's a 2 in 8 chance for Flaremancer. 2 in 8 as in 1 in 4. And if he jumps once more, we will be dead. So he needs to choose to only use physical attacks ever again, and we need to block all of them at this point. He could use also an ability called Electrocute, which doesn't deal all that much damage. But at this point I think it would kill me still. So I think that is the 3rd spell we got in his second phase, so we know it's technically possible to defeat him right now. We just would need to get a lot more luck. At what point can you start learning dark arts? More or less right after this boss. This is the last boss we have to defeat without having any dark arts available. It will still take a little bit longer, like we have to go through a dungeon and then through the Moogle village and then a few more cutscenes. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. By the way, 1 in 16 times those guys give us a rare drop of a high potion, so that's kinda nice. This time I'm not gonna forget the mangoes. How will Dark Arts affect the run? Will it be less RNG? Yes, absolutely. It will be significantly less RNG. As a matter of fact, it won't just be less RNG. The Necromancer will suddenly skyrocket way past the power of a Summoner and Black Mage. I see. Rest well, Blood. Thank you for dropping by and have a good night. Take care. The soundtrack is dope. It is really awesome, I agree. This guy is actually going to be difficult, even with breaking rods, just because of how it works. The alternative would be us leveling up to, like, level... I would guess like level 70 or 80, in order to have a reasonably high chance of surviving, since by that point we would have, like, 5000 HP. And we would have a lot more chances to use our Necromancers. By virtue of surviving for a lot longer, that is. I really did not expect to defeat the Pureblos without actually using break rods, but here we are. And once again, as mentioned before, breaking rods is a perfectly valid strategy. It's not a bug or anything like that. It's just that I prefer to try and use the class's own strengths rather than breaking rods. Breaking rods specifically because it's such a ridiculously powerful strategy that a lot of the classes can just do. However, it is still technically an ability of the classes to be able to equip and use rods. So it's just like an optional side challenge that I'm taking on rather than anything more specific. I'm not hesitating to use rods in random encounters like I've demonstrated before. And if it turns out we need a lot more luck, or for that matter need to level a lot more to get past certain enemies, I will definitely just straight up break rods. So, by the way, in the Super Nintendo version, what you could do is you could keep exact track of Gilgamesh's HP, and just as you push him below the threshold where he uses his other abilities, his Shell, Haste and Armor, you could actually attack him with the Mage Masher, push him over and simultaneously silence him with a 1 in 4 chance. Unfortunately, that does not work in the Game Boy Advance version, so we are kind of stuck with what we have. Also, by the way, those steps take a lot longer than they take at... the Pureblos, so maybe I'm just gonna go with 45 total. So far, I haven't really seen a whole lot of success. To be fair, I haven't exactly kept track of the specific HP number for Gilgamesh. But yeah. A glutton for punishment? Not really. I don't enjoy the punishment at all, actually. What I do enjoy is the success after hardship and trial. That is pretty much what I'm after. Maybe I should just heal up before saving again. This was your first Final Fantasy. Nice. I really like this one. It's actually the first Final Fantasy I've beaten. Not the first one I've played, but the first one I've beaten. That's something as well. Well, Flaremancers came nice and swift. I don't know how far we are into the final phase. Best case scenario is actually, let's say, just slightly above 2,500 HP left, which would mean we would need to land 3 Flaremancers in order to win, or 2 Flaremancers and some change. So, if we don't get at least 2 Flaremancers in this final section of the phase, we will never really win. That's fun. Yeah. Considering how slow the deaths are and how small the chance appears to be, just kind of statistically very unlikely. I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking rods at 45 instead. Oops. I also want to heal up to full so we have the maximum chance. I wish I had that kind of confidence tag. I pretty much would never say that of myself. Which, well, to each their own, but it goes a bit too far in that direction for me, because I have very little self-confidence. But I see what you mean. Oh, I actually forgot he could even use that ability. You know what, I feel like I should probably just reset when we are below 1000 HP before we reach phase 2. Because he will always jump at least once as soon as he reaches phase 2. There's actually no way around that pretty much. So that's not exactly... yeah, we take about 400 damage, so this is pretty much a death regardless. 43. Plus, it's very, very unlikely it would survive anything else anyways. That's okay. You know... Yeah... What do you guys think? Do we go up to 50 deaths, or should we just try to push on and get to new areas before that? You're personally inclined to say push on, since this is really just a damage check. Not much you can do except kill him before he kills you. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the alternative would be grinding a lot, but I would want to reload a save, which I don't have, in the first world to go back to Black Flames, since that's a lot more efficient than what I would be able to do in here. I feel like we haven't seen this guy in a while. Yeah, so many skeletons, let's just do this. Alrighty, one more try, I would say. I say one more try. At least on the Pureblos it was quite interesting on how we could optimize it and see better. This one is just hold down the A button and pray. I'm actually not gonna break the rods on those guys once I start wanting to use rods on Gilgamesh, because I'm not sure if I have enough rods. I probably do, but don't need to push my luck. Plus we can defeat those guys without breaking rods easily too. Just takes a lot longer. Yeah, it makes sense, Lethan. Thank you for your opinion, I appreciate that. I know most people are just lurking. So many skeletons, yep. To be fair, it is a 3 in 8 chance, by far the highest of any of the demons to appear. So it makes sense. Either way, I do appreciate the input. Especially since most people are usually lurking, so sometimes you don't get any response at all. And that's okay, enjoy your lurking. But sometimes people would like to say things. Hi Valkyr, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Enjoy the lurking. You have a day off tomorrow. That's nice. That's fair, Falkith. I'm mostly lurk myself when I'm in other streams, so it's just a lot more comfy. In these kinds of situations, I'm just not sure what else to say aside from just humming along the music. I'm waiting. I guess we could have tried to maybe start planning on ahead a little bit. But there's actually not going to be a whole lot of planning. The main reason there was so much planning on Chemist is just because you needed to be so prepared. But there's not a whole lot you would need to do beforehand that you couldn't do immediately when you encounter the boss slash the problem in the subsequent areas. AM. That's pretty extreme. Alrighty. So he just Goomba stomped us. And now we are just gonna Goomba stomp him. Or try to anyways. He might actually still kill us. Reasonably decent chance. That is. Let's see. After we deal 4000 damage to him, he will go into his phase 2. So we kind of want to deal a little bit less than 4000 damage. But considering that the Thunder Rod and those guys here deals 2500-ish almost, which is doubled. So we deal only a 2500. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, I guess. So I'll just probably brick rods without much strategy. I could try to push him closer to his threshold, but I feel like I would need a Flaremancer for that to be a thing. So what we're gonna do now is we use the fire rods, flame rods that I have bought, and use them. So this costs Fire 3 as an ability, with a magic power of 185. Single target, it does more damage to a single target. If it's multi-target, it deals half damage to all targets. So this will already push him into phase 2. Now he will take only half damage from the subsequent fire rods, which means we actually most likely still need 3, maybe 2 could be sufficient. But let's say the way he can kill us, he can take 3 turns right now. If he jumps every time, he will kill us, and there's not much we can do about that, and that's just how it is. Another fire rod, a flame rod I guess. We might be able to kill him with 1 more flame rod. But he needs to let us get our turn. Let's see, this might do the trick. It could be just a little bit shy of defeating him. Yep, we got him. Alrighty. And soon we will unlock part of the potential of the Necromancer. Oh, by the way, something I have not mentioned today yet. What I'm gonna be doing is I will actually do a second playthrough with the Necromancer. Maybe not right after, but eventually. And the plan is that I want to unlock the full potential of the Necromancer pretty much right away. I don't remember how to do this. There's more encounters here. I think this is how... Nope, I was wrong. I don't remember how to do this exactly without encounters guaranteed. But we have more flame rods. And we have one thunder rod, one flame rod, and one frost rod left. Hey Primas, welcome, thank you for the good luck. I appreciate that. At this point we pretty much don't really need good luck anymore, I dare to say, in terms of being able to win. That's not true, we need a little bit of luck. But soon we'll be able to take care of enemies that we have never been able to take care before. And hey Canby, welcome to you. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Made Gilgamesh angry. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not enough to be... I feel like I just interrupted my sentence without finishing it. Derp. Either way, enemies here, those are tunnelers. If you actually control them with a Beastmaster, they can cast Flare 3. Which is a blue magic that you could learn here. But I think you also need a White Mage with Wall in order to achieve that. Otherwise, level 3 Flare is only targetable on enemies, I think? Not entirely sure. Either way, we do have new stuff that we can buy here. In theory, if I had enough money. So the most important thing I want to get right now is some holy waters in case some of our allies get zombified. And 2 gold needles, because I will need them later. Other than that, there's equipment I can buy here technically that increases my defense a little bit. It's not really all that noteworthy, so I'm just gonna skip it. Oh, and hey Chaos Kitty, welcome. Greetings to you. And I hope you enjoy your stay. So those fairy orcs, if we were to try and fight them, they actually do revive our dead allies into zombies. Actually, they have a 50% chance to revive our dead allies, either into zombies or regular characters. Neither is particularly pleasant or desirable in a solo character challenge. So we just don't have them do that. Hello. Bye. Well, actually, speaking of Game Shark, since I would want to do the Berserker run on console, I kind of need the Game Shark for console. For SNES anyways. So I can unlock the Berserker class from the start. And hey Alien Bob, welcome, hope you're doing well. So did I equip the... Nope. Magos equipped again, so less physical damage taken, hopefully. We could fight those enemies here, they are actually weak to lightning, so Skeleton would actually deal pretty decent damage. But Skeleton is only a single target, plus there's not really much of a reason for me to fight them anyways, since we have better things to do later. Seems like you missed a lot? Well, maybe not that much. Depends on how much you've watched recently. Could be a little bit though. A solo berserker run would be terrifying, yeah. It's also not gonna happen unless we figure out a way how to manipulate console RNG in a predetermined way, essentially. Because solo berserker has such a tiny chance of winning the very final boss fight against Neo X Death. It's just not humanly reasonable without manipulation, I dare to say. Oh, by the way, those guys are interesting, because they like to use Vampire. They're also inherently poisoned as a status. The thing is, if they use Vampire, we get healed because we're undead. So what I in theory can do is actually I can sit in this encounter and just wait. I don't know whether they do anything but Vampire, but they are poisoned, which means they lose 1/16 of their health every time they take a poison tick. But Vampire, because we are undead, gets reversed, and we get healed instead. So those guys are basically providing us with free healing, without us having to do anything at all. And it looks like they don't even physically attack, so we are perfectly safe. Vampire can miss. It is one of those spells that deals damage, but only has a chance to hit. Since we are kind of high level, the chance for them to hit us with Vampire is not that great, unfortunately, which... I want to get hit by Vampire, please. Just so we get healed. Thank you. One time someone named Grayson did a 4x Berserker run playthrough of this game and took super long. Yep, I've done that too. That does take a long time. There's by now quite a number of people who have done a quad Berserker run, and well, it just always takes a really long time. That's true. And you use really strange strategies against the final boss. It's actually a lot of fun to theorize on how to optimize that. Hey Gunarmdine, welcome, how are you doing? So for this guy here, this guy uses an ability called, well, a revenge ability, meaning he deals damage equivalent to however much HP he has lost so far. So the tricky thing is about this guy to deal any form of damage to him, because he will have so much HP that he pretty much one-shots you with his revenge ability. I don't remember what it's called on the Game Boy Advance version, but it's essentially blue magic that deals damage equivalent to how much HP you have lost. So that would be really bad for us, since he has more HP than we do. And we don't have a good way of dealing damage to him, so I just use a Phoenix down, since he is not heavy and he is undead. Well, he just instantly dies to it. You're doing well, that sounds nice. Us Divine Hearts. Or Divine Hearts. I don't know that one, but good luck and have fun with that Gunarmdine. So the Moogle tells us essentially, don't step onto the desert, because that's really unhealthy. And it's true. In the grass there's no encounters at all, but in the desert there is really strong encounters you cannot run away from. Among others, there is a monstrosity that has 15,000 health and uses Maelstrom, which puts your entire part into critical HP condition. And that's really not good for us, because we don't have a way of healing right now. We will eventually have, but that is not until World 3. But very soon we finally get our first set of abilities to deal with enemies. More efficiently than just using Oath. Oath has actually been quite fine initially, just the last few bosses were a huge luck dependent thing if we wanted to defeat them just with Oath. But soon, we don't have to rely on that anymore. Hey Jeronagas, welcome. Hope you're doing well. It's a port of a mobile from Chemco. You're usually pretty short, but it's also fun. Alright. Interesting. So here, this little guy gives us a bunch of money. 10,000 gold, 1 gold, a dancing dagger, and a cottage. So he gives us really nice stuff. Dancing dagger is actually really interesting. It gives us +1 magic power and +1 agility, so we are slightly faster and potentially deal more damage with spells. But I still prefer the Guardian Dagger just because of its ability to block physical attacks. We could also get an elf cape by doing a little side thing on the left side of the Moogle village here, but we already have an elf cape, we don't need a second one. RPG Limit Break registration is now open in case anyone was waiting. Right. Yeah, I still don't know whether I should even try to go or not. The thing is, I'm going to be in the USA during RPG Limit Break anyways. So in a sense, it's cheaper. But I haven't even bought my flight ticket back home to Switzerland yet, so... yeah. I'm not sure. Hey Magical Fury, welcome. I hope you're doing well. So, a few more cutscenes, and then we will be finally arriving here. What we need to do. Did you wind up having to break a bunch of rods in Gilgamesh too? Yes, I ended up doing that. Basically, it looked very, very unlikely that with the current level and HP we had, we would even get a reasonable chance at defeating Gilgamesh. Because Necromancer was doing 528 damage or so in phase 2 once he switches. And unless we get like the perfect transition where we deal about 1300 damage and he leave him with 1200 left, and then get 3 Necromancers in a row, it's highly unlikely that we would be able to ever defeat him with just Oath. Alrighty, and we have finally arrived where we will be able to get our first Dark Arts. And this is against the statues here, Objet d'Art. So this is why I bought 2 gold needles, because gold needles remove petrification, and if you use them against stone type enemies, they will instantly die. So, the condition is that the Necromancer himself needs to do the finishing blow. I don't know whether this actually counts as doing the finishing blow against the enemy in order to get it, but let's see. We gained Hellwind, it does count. And now... let's see, let's get into another encounter. There's also encounters with 5 of those object darts. We have Dark Arts, Hellwind. It costs 38 MP, we have 319 a lot total. And it does really good damage, I would say. But here's the thing about Hellwind. It is wind element. It has 190 power, to give you a frame of reference. Fire, Ice and Lightning 3 are 185 power, so this is very slightly stronger than the other thing. Also, let me just illustrate this here. So, we just learned Hellwind right here. So this is 190 power and also has a chance to petrify enemies. Petrification is effectively an instant death to enemies, and there's a lot of enemies that are not immune against instant death at all. There will be a way to power up the wind element of the Hellwind, but we do not have that right now. We will eventually get that, put it that way. And grease to you, Transporter. I'm doing quite fine too, thank you. Progress, we just have received our first Dark Arts, and now we will be absolutely demolishing enemies, because Hellwind is probably one, if not the strongest one of the area of effect Dark Arts. So Hellwind is always area of effect, always hits all enemies, we cannot multi-target or single-target it. But as a result, it hits all enemies for the power of a single target, Fire 3, Ice 3 and Lightning 3, or something like that. This guy using Hurricane is not friendly. Let me just use Hellwind on you. He can use Vampire, but it would just heal us instead. He would never got the chance. I think he is actually susceptible. Yeah, he is susceptible to petrification. So the thing is, I don't know the probability of hitting petrification, but I'm pretty sure it's not guaranteed. Either way, we now have a ridiculously powerful ability that just wrecks enemies. So all we need to do is hold down the A button in a combat and pretty much win, since none of them have more than 2000 HP here. And unless they just absorb or resist wind element, not gonna be friendly for them. So, and these guys are just annoying because they use Dance Macabre on our fallen allies, turning them into zombies. So this is why I bought the holy water. Now we have to kill them again. Does the damage of that get boosted by any of the staves? Yes, actually. Not a stave, in fact. We will get the wind dagger in order to power up the damage of Hellwind. So we will actually deal more like 3,500 damage on an enemy that is not weak to wind. Once we get the wind dagger, which will take a little while longer, but we'll get there. Just remember to keep your MP topped off if you're using that strategy. Yes, that is actually now going to be a concern. So previously we really didn't care a whole lot about trying to keep any MP at all. Like, it was just non-concern since Oath doesn't cost anything. But with 38 MP per cast of Hellwind, that is actually pretty substantial. Easy mod activated pretty much. So we will have to have a way of restoring our HP, or MP, excuse me. And the way I'm gonna do this, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of cottages in order to use them to recover MP at save points and or on the overworld. Which means our allies are going to get revived, which means we have to kill them off real quick again, but that's not that big of a deal. That playthrough where you start with all Dark Arts is gonna be nice. It is, I agree. The MP cost is actually going to be really substantial, so we won't be able to spam them initially. Maybe once we do the playthrough with all Dark Arts enabled right away. Became too soft to live. Whoosh. Yeah, actually, I really like Hellwind because it even has a super fast animation. So it's not just really strong, but also really fast. If you think of something like Holy or Flare, those animations basically take forever. So Hellwind is a lot nicer than that. And we will actually learn our second Dark Arts just around the corner here. Oh, I forgot to try and pick up the Angel suit to see whether we will be able to use that. Super Whoosh then, something like that. So Wind Element is nice because pretty much no enemy is resistant against it. Although the downside is obviously that pretty much no enemy is weak to it either. There's only very few. Off the top of my head I can think of Omniscient. That's about it actually. Also, cutscenes. The beginning of World 2 is essentially loaded with cutscenes, but from here on out, it will be just kind of relatively minor for the most part. Just sequences in between rather than huge chunks of it like it is right now. Alrighty, so... I would like to buy some high potions, so I have a way to heal myself in between combat. And I don't really need any more ether, but I would like to have some cottages to restore my MP. And here we actually get a new weapon for ourselves. And that weapon is... a poison rod. A rod that sometimes casts bio, full power back from the back row. So the nice thing about the poison rod is essentially it powers up poison-based moves. Which, if we use Oath, a zombie dragon is actually poison-based. So instead of... Dealing 50 to 500, it would deal 75 to 750 damage. Still doesn't sound that great if you ask me. Also, Wizard Hat actually increases our magic power by 2, I think? Gaia Gear gives us a bit more physical defense. It's gonna be nice. Not by 1. Magic power by 1, and a bit more physical defense. Alrighty. Also, Gaia Gear would power up Earth-based spells, but we don't have any. But you might be wondering, well, Poison-based spell really doesn't have as much either, because if you remember, only a 1 in 8 chance for Zombie Dragon to show up in the first place. Well, that's true, but let's talk about Zombie Dragon here for a second, because Zombie Dragon is an enemy that can appear in this specific area. And a Zombie Dragon, is as a matter of fact, is one of those enemies that will grant us a new Dark Arts. So, we will be able to pick up our second Dark Arts right after the first one, pretty much. And it's a pretty decent one too. Oh, that's really bad. Bone puts us into critical HP. If it hits. The chance to hit is not great, but good enough apparently for us to be immediately in critical HP, it looks like. And hey Crow, thank you for the host, I appreciate that. Welcome to you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's Game Boy Advance, and for that matter also the other one only. Steam version. Another cottage in here. Let's see, did we finally get one? There we go. Alrighty. Unfortunately, we're not that fast, so most of the time enemies will get a turn on us before we go. So, Hellwind will instantly kill the Drippies and the Poison Eagles. It also has a decent chance to instantly kill the Zombie Dragons, because they are not immune against petrification. Once again, I don't know the probability... Oh, I just drove past it. I don't know the probability of how likely it is to petrify enemies with Hellwind, but it can happen. Also, we just learned a new Dark Arts. I kinda scrolled a little bit too quickly past it, but we just learned Evil Mist. Evil Mist has the same power level as Hellwind, so it's really, really good with 190 power. It gets powered up by the Poison Rod, which is why I bought it. And on top of that, it is Poison Element, so if anything is particularly weak against poison or poison elements, since it can also simultaneously poison enemies, we will be able to take advantage of that. All of those zombie dragons always drop a Dragon Fang. Also, this is an optional encounter where you can save Golem and he will be one of your summons. I don't want to invest the MP, because the enemies in that encounter actually are special enemies and don't give you any experience or gold for that matter. You just get the summon Golem. You're guessing Sage Surplus versus Gaia Gears, whether or not you need Silence Immunity versus increased defense, and if you have anything deals turf damage. Generally speaking, yes, Magical Fury. Actually completely forgot that Sage's Surplus gives you immunity against Silence. I completely forgot about that. But then again, the probability of you getting silenced in this game is not particularly high. There's almost no enemy that uses any form of silencing move on you. Like, there's very few and far between. Preemptive Strike. I have no more MP to cast Dark Arts, but I have Phoenix Stones. They give really good experience, and we've used 1,000 gold in order to use a Phoenix Stone, but we get 2,500 gold back by the virtue of Dragon Fangs being pretty good to sell. You got stuck on the mountain for a really long time because you didn't find that pitfall. Yeah, actually, it was a similar thing for me. I was streaming the game, so people actually told me about it in the end. Not, not exactly. They told me where to progress, let's put it that way. So I kind of walked around for long enough to eventually find it. But this is kind of very much not obvious. I got stuck there too. The only reason why I got it reasonably quickly is because, or thanks to people actually telling me about it. Thank you very much. Also, Mage Masher silence proc right there. Alrighty, so we are coming up on the next boss. So the next boss is actually traditionally rather... I did not mean to do that. Is rather difficult to take on because a lot of classes don't have any form of area of effect, and if you don't have area of effect, the little flowers are incredibly dangerous. However, for us, the little flowers are not even relevant. You can inflict literally every single status effect on them possible, so you can crowd control them in some form, that works too. But the main problem of those little flowers is each one of them uses a different element, different status effect. The far left flower I think paralyzes, the bottom left flower confuses, the bottom flower I think puts the aging status on you, which is really bad since you lose levels and power and it goes super slow. The far right flower I think uses darkness, and the bottom right I think uses poison. Either way, I don't know which one is exactly which one, but that's approximately it. Now, those flowers are kinda dangerous in that they always hit. You cannot physically block their attacks, it's impossible. Which is less than ideal, but not anything really they can do about that. But also, they will guaranteed apply the status effect, and if you are susceptible to it, they will hit you with it. They have each turn they take 2 out of 3 chance to attack, and 1 in 3 chance to do nothing. The main flower just respawns the little flowers, it doesn't actually do anything else aside from that, and it is susceptible to instant death. But if you have just some form of, let's say, area of effect that hits all enemies, you really won't have any trouble with this boss. So this is Evil Mist, powered up through the Poison Rod. And I'm just gonna hold down the A button now. The Dragon Paw has about 12,000 HP if I'm not mistaken. And it will die. Because there's nothing it can do since the little flowers keep dying to every single area of effect that we shoot. And that's that. Pretty easy. Even to get an elixir for our troubles. Yeah, the Poison Rod using Evil Mist with Poison Rod is really strong. Worth noting that those enemies here actually had a pretty substantial amount of magic defense. But it was still so much damage thanks to the dark arts being incredibly powerful that it basically didn't matter at all. Could you please stop using bone on me? If those guys get to back attack me, use a bone and then immediately attack, I'm instantly dead and there's nothing you can do about that. Again, thankfully bone has a pretty low chance to succeed, both because we're high level, but also because it has an inherently low chance to hit. How many of you... That is actually kind of unusual. Rude. I don't know, I think they can be petrified. One of them died. I think he just literally decided to skip his turn, which may have just saved us. Oh, half the mango's already equipped. I did not mean to use ult! Oh. Oh well. That might not have been petrification, might have been just them not having quite enough HP to survive. They are of course immune and absorb poison. immune to poison, absorb poison, that way around. We have this track, hey nice. No instant deaths on those guys so far though. Slightly unfortunate. So soon we will actually come across an item that will give us a lot of let's say leeway in how many times we can cast spells. You'll see what I mean and I'll explain it. Also Golem, all he does when he's in the solo encounter is he slaps you once and then runs away. It's actually pretty mean. We've been blocking everything, but well, it's not that much physical damage, but it's just annoying. And he does that this entire time in the previous section already here. So it's essentially, do you really want to save that guy that just slaps you once and runs away? Yes, you do. Trust me, if you have a summoner, you use Golem. Golem is an incredibly good summon. Like, arguably one of the best. I would say it's probably the best summon in the entire game for various purposes. There we go, instant death for once. No more oaths and no more dark arts because we ran out. That's okay. Something like that, BB. I basically poked the RAM address to give me early jobs. Well, yeah, basically, yes. Can you equip the bone mail? You've always read the advantage of the thing is that all classes can equip it. Nope, actually, unfortunately not. Necromancer is one of the classes that cannot equip the bone mail. So I did pick it up, didn't I? Or did I just skip it because we can't equip it? There it is, I did pick it up. The bone mail cannot be equipped by White Mage, Black Mage, Time Mage, Summoner, Geomancer, Necromancer, Bard and Oracle. So arguably, it would be insanely nice if Necromancer could equip it, because you have literally no downsides aside from them being weak to fire. Well, I guess there's one downside, we are weak to fire, but aside from being weak to fire, we would get an insane amount of defense. Armored fit for a corpse? That description, though. Oh, it's a coffin then, I guess. Either way, it has ridiculously high defense and grants you so many status immunities, it's amazing. But we can't equip it. Normally the biggest downside is that you can't heal yourself, but we already have that downside as a Necromancer, so it's not really that big of a deal. I have much more cottages. Also, we did pick up a few items that I can sell. Among others, I don't need the flail anymore, I don't need the broadsword, we sell the leather armors. Keep the sage's surplus. So here's a fun fact, if we are silenced, we can no longer cast dark arts. If we silence enemies with dark arts, they can still use them. I don't need it. Bone mail, 1 gil. Hypnocrown, 37,500 gil. So this is probably the most expensive thing you can ever have in this game. For sell. It's really expensive. So Ethers is the only thing that I can use in combat to recover my MP. I don't think I will ever really need them. I'm not just gonna buy a bunch. The rest I'm gonna go ahead and get some more gold needles just in case we need them. And probably invest the rest of the money pretty much into high potions. Let's see real quick whether there's any more armor that we can buy right now. Because at this point I do have a bit more money again. So we can equip a power armlet, but it gives plus 3 strength. I don't care about strength right now. So now we just hope to not encounter those dudes that used to dance macabre on us. Also, I'm just gonna use a cottage, because then I recover my MP. And they leave a trail of candy behind. Nice. Wow, they paralyzed and slowed us. But, thankfully, in the Game Boy Advance version you can run away despite not having your turn yet, which is different in the Super Nintendo version. Rick! Also, welcome to you, Fizzo and Anonicus and Baby. Hope you guys are having a pleasant day so far. So, there's actually one more item that we can pick up along the way here. And that item is not useful for the Necromancer, but if you have a class that can use swords, this is probably your strongest sword that you can find. It's a great sword or an epi sword, depending on translation. And it sells for like 5,400. I don't know whether that is the price we get if we sell it, or whether that is the price we get it for when buying it. Either way, a bit more money, because why not? Day was great. Nice. My day has been quite fine so far, thank you. No complaints. So, what I wanted to do earlier actually is I wanted to check real quick whether we can equip the angel robe here. Probably not, but hey, who knows. Nope. This would have been amazing because the angel robe absorbs poison elements, so it would be kind of a poor man's... It would have been a poor man's... what's the word? Bone nail, but unfortunately Necromancer cannot equip an angel robe. I didn't expect the Necromancer to be able to, but... You know, there was a chance. It is a light armor after all, and I have no idea about enhanced classes. 4.5, 4.2, I guess I was wrong either way. Oh, away it goes. That's okay. We could buy an Ori Halkandirk, there's no reason to, because... Well, wait, what did it say? Because we don't use physical attacks at all. Can be used with Spellblade, right, I mean, most weapons can be. Actually, daggers and swords generally can. Other stuff cannot be used with Spellblade. Gilgamesh, how automatically appropriate to get Gilgamesh with a random one godlike. Nice. Angel Rope is chemist only, and apparently mime as well, as I just read. I was not aware of that, but that's just something I've learned. So the reason why absorbing poison would be kind of a big deal is those venom rods I bought earlier. You know, you can break them kind of like the thunder, lightning and ice rods. However, it's only a single target, but because it's a single target, you can actually target it at your own party. So I would be able to heal myself by breaking venom rods if I absorbed poison. Which, unfortunately, as a Necromancer, I don't. So we still don't have any way of healing pretty much at all. case you're wondering, yes, Hellwind and Evil Mist at times are pretty much going to be carrying us through more or less the rest of the game. There's not a whole lot else we will be able to gain. There will be a single target fire attack that we can get, which has the same power as Hellwind and Evil Mist, but it's single target. It will have some use, but not a whole lot. There will be a few others. I didn't forget this island for once. Nice. Oop. I did not even know there were encounters here. I had no idea actually. Because usually you don't get any here. That's unusual. Oh. There's an open world randomizer for Super Mario RPG now. Interesting. So, upcoming, we have an encounter with Gilgamesh again. Yes, he comes up that often and frequently. And that encounter is going to involve him taking about 4000 damage, then he will call Enkidu to his aid, which will heal him for 4000, and then we kill both of them. So Gilgamesh is actually somewhat dangerous because he will have the ability to use Deathclaw. Deathclaw puts us into critical HP, which, well, is already really bad as a Necromancer, unless we get really lucky in the end. On top of that, it paralyzes too, so Deathclaw is pretty much a death sentence if we ever get hit by it, unless we get stupidly lucky afterwards, which is, well, not particularly probable. Aside from that, one of the most dangerous things Enkidu can do is use Vampire, which actually is slightly broken in the Game Boy Advance version, because instead of attacking and healing you for half the HP you have lost, it attacks and deals damage and heals you for the entire HP you have lost. So it's basically just a straight up better question mark ability, which I think is slightly lower chance to hit. But because we are inherently undead as a Necromancer, it will actually heal us instead. So I would be perfectly fine with Enkidu using his Vampire ability once he comes. Aside from that, he only has 2000 HP, and we will deal about 3000 to him too. Neither Gilgamesh nor Enkidu are resistant to poison, so we will use our Venom Rod and just absolutely demolish those poor guys. In the meantime, I'll just have my friends here make sure they're not gonna be accidentally in the way and just go back to sleep. Equilibrium, thank you! Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Welcome to you. And well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much. Hellwind, Evil Mist. I like Hellwind's animation actually. Just whoosh. Those guys only have like 1500 HP. Not terribly strong, but they give a surprisingly good amount of experience and gold, mostly experience for how easy they are to defeat. But there's a limited amount of those guys. We could kill all of them, but at the same time I don't think that's all that necessary. Alrighty, Gilgamesh number 2. I started with the mangoes because exactly this can happen, you can just block his attack. Then we switch over to the Venom Rod, if I find it. I need to organize my inventory a little bit. Poison Rod is called. I did not mean to use all. Oh, I guess we luckily got the Flaremancer. I'm so used to holding right, because that's what we've done the entire time so far. His physical attack is really weak. It's really just his abilities that are really spooky, because he also has Missile, which deals damage equivalent to 75% of our max current HP, so it would deal loads of damage. But again, it's also subject to chance to hit, so probably actually should have used a Silk Rope, because that would give us a higher chance to avoid those attacks. But on the other hand, unless we get really unlucky, they will not even get the opportunity to use those abilities, since we just kill them too quickly. And Kido is going to be dead already. And Gilgamesh will fall in the next attack too. Yes, 8,000. Oh, never mind. Yes, 8,888 HP, and that is a death. And goodbye. That's unfortunate. 0 deaths against Helio Plant. Helio? 0? Oops, I didn't know to do that. I'm updating the death counts real quick on the side here. After Gilgamesh here. And we had only 7 deaths against Gilgamesh on the bridge, I guess. I guess only 7 attempts. I thought it was more, but the attempts did take pretty lengthy. Time of the OF. We actually might have been able to kill Gilgamesh if I didn't accidentally use Oath in the very first turn. Because we deal about 3,000-ish damage. I'm actually not paying attention to the exact number, to be completely honest with you. 3,000 damage. Enkidu only heals for 4,000, so we would have 2,000 damage still left over once he gets summoned. And with 2 more, actually would just barely not kill him. Unless it's like 3,300 damage we deal with that. So yeah, there's that. After Gilgamesh, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and briefly get some food, take a short break, so we can continue for a fair bit longer afterwards. Alternatively, if we die again, I'll just do that right now. But that's a big if. A wet wish. Let me actually real quick check whether I'm even correct, whether the Silk Robe has indeed more magic evasion. So Silk Robe has 16% magic evasion. We have Gaia gear instead as well. So Gaia gear has 18% magic evasion, so never mind. This is actually better, even for magic evasion purposes. So a straight up 18% chance reduction to never get hit by Death Claw. So we would need to get really unlucky, which is entirely possible, as you might be able to tell. That's okay. Because if they don't get lucky, we will demolish them at this point. 3,696, that's a lot more than 3,000. That's a one-shot for Enkidu to arrive. Wow, I did not expect that. It's actually an interesting thought. If I could, I would only single target attack or multi-target attack Enkidu once, and then single target attack Gilgamesh afterwards first, because potentially Enkidu could heal me with Vampire after Gilgamesh Death Claws me, and heal me through that. But, well, not gonna be much of a thing. Also, speaking of not gonna be much of a thing, Gilgamesh is history as well.
Enkidu, faithful sidekick. I trust you can take the care of the rest. Faithful sidekick? Enkidu? Hey, sidekicks are not to ditch the hero.
I don't even know why it would be such a big deal if Gallo fell into the water, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. Like, they kind of... in this cutscene, it feels like it would be such a huge deal. I don't understand. Either way, we are going to be taking a short break just as we enter the barrier tower over here. And with a little bit of submarine music, I would say. Be right back, and we are going to be continuing right after. Thank you for watching.